Finding options and solutions. This is what we will be talking in today's presentations. We will talk in details about various options and how do we look for solutions thereby to simple or complex problems as the case might be. So let us understand how do we come across this particular situation. Remember, first thing is it is a process which is 7 step that provides a rational analytical ways of looking and decision. So it's a 7 step process about decisions as to what are the rationales and reasons behind taking a particular decision. Now let us understand the decision making skills or process. First, it is to identify the problem. Definitely, yes. Why do we have to have a decisions? Because there are issues that needs to be resolved. Then probably we require relevant information as to why it is happening, develop alternatives as to how can we resolve to that particular situation, what will happen in case of first route, second route, third route. Some might be time consuming, some might be resource consuming, some might require effort or abilities. So evaluate each of those alternatives and based on the competencies that you which suits yourself or your organization, select the best alternative and thereby implement the decision. And this is what decision making process is all about it. Remember, absolutely decision has been done. Now, once you have implemented, you just have to take a feedback as to was the decision good? Obviously, it should be good or otherwise. So, what is a problem? Let us understand. It's a discrepancy between existing state of affairs. Definitely, yes. So there is an actual state and there is a standard state that we require to go around it. So everybody wants to come first in the class. Everybody wants to be the chief executive officers. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be a rich. But exactly where are we? Are we coming first in the class? Are we uh, setting up an industries? Are we the chief executive officers in our organizations? Where are we? So there is an existing state and there is a desired state, and definitely this is what the real problem is. Identifying the problem itself is a very difficult task. So once you identify the problems, now what are the surrounding circumstances that leads to the problem? Is it the circumstances leading to the problem or the problems leading to the circumstances? So once you have identified this thing, been able to pick out the strain, then probably try to resolve the issues in more than one way if possible. So that is what we look into problems identification. Let us understand the alternative develop the strength, the weakness of each alternatives every time, every day. Identify the best addresses that silence or the saliency discrepancies. Now, what are the one best thing that can have mitigate the discrepancy in the first place? So identify your weaknesses, your strength. Did I say some of the alternatives would be resource consuming, some would be time consuming, some would be cost consuming, some would be requiring a special ability or technicalities, whichever the things goes around it. So make decisions, implement the decision and take the step necessary to ensure the corrective timings and execution thereby. Follow up and evaluate the result then and there. This is what we are looking forward. Implement the decisions to take the step necessary to implement correct timing, execution, follow up, evaluate the result thereby. So decision steps rules are expected value analysis as to what kind of feedback or what kind of values or what kind of objective that we have desired for ourselves and whether we will be able to achieve them or not. Then we have the decision tree analysis, which encompasses the expected values analysis by assigning the probabilities of each values every time now and then. This is very important. Assigning and calculating the payoff for each decision paths. This is the fact about why a particular decision has been taken care of. So we will try to quantify the decisions in terms of the value, assessing the probabilities as to will the probabilities will be actually be achieved or not, and then probably have the risk reward ratio that needs to be taken care of. So first and the foremost thing is the margin analysis. Analyzing decision in terms of incremental cost. or management information system, a mechanism to provide the manager with the needed and accurate information on a regular and a timely basis. So, margin analysis is analyzing the decision in terms of the incremental cost, a mechanism to provide the managers when needed and accurate the information on a regular and a timely basis is what we would be looking at it. So yes, decision making style, everyone brings their own unique personality and experiences to the decision that they make. Definitely yes, we all have our own personalities which will tell what kind of decision that we goes around it. Are we a risk aversing personality or we are risk taking personality as the case might be. Notwithstanding, however, the decision style model outline the text has four principal style. We will come across with those principal style one by one. Definitely, don't worry about it. So basically, people have two dimensions as far as decision style is concerned. First is the way they think. It's how do they process information? What are we looking at altogether for processing information time and again? And the next verse is tolerance. Now, tolerance when your decision might not go, the decision that you have taken might not go your way. So, how clear does everything have to be? That is tolerance for ambiguity. So, are you clear with it? Their way of thinking, how do you process the things, and so on and so forth. So, directive, let us understand the styles. Is low tolerance for the ambiguity, as in absolutely there is no sense of uncertainty absolutely there. It's almost 100% sure. Seeks rationality, tries to believe faith onto it. Efficient and logical is what we are looking into. Make quick decisions, and short-term focus is what we are looking forward to it. This is what we are taking around it. So low tolerance for ambiguity, seek rationality, efficient and logical, make quick decision, short-term focus, and so on and so forth. So high tolerance for ambiguity, how do we goes around it? What are the high tolerance that comes around it? First requires more information, definitely yes, absolutely. Considers more alternatives, definitely yes. So analytics is high tolerance for ambiguity. Probably even if there is no clarity, it requires more on the information basis, has to give more alternatives. Be careful, be adaptive, and that is what the analytical skills would be going around it. Then there are people who are conceptually oriented as far as their outlooks are concerned. So they have broad principles and they go by the principles altogether. Now, in this case, there might be alternatives that might creep in. Good at finding creative solutions. Yes, definitely yes. Good at finding creative solutions. Focused long range. Absolutely must. It's they are looking always at the broader perspective than anything else. Then there are people who have decision model based on their behaviors, as been told, elaborated elsewhere also. So herein, people are working well with each other. People absolutely do not want to probably string the honest nest or probably rub the people the wrong way, wrong way all the way. So they would like not to disturb the momentum altogether. They would love to maintain a harmony in their relationship with others. Concerns with achievement is what we are looking for it. Of subordinates, receptive to suggestions, avoid conflict, seek acceptance, and so on and so forth. So we will talk about working well with others, behaviorals concerning with achievement of subordinates. They are humanistic oriented, receptive to suggestions, democratic, probably avoids conflict, would not like to disturb the honestness, seek acceptance. So ethics in decision making. Let us try to understand what are the various ethics that comes across while making decisions. You know, many a time decision making becomes difficult not because of the outcome, but because of the way you are achieving your outcomes, right? So, for example, I want to come first in the class, or for example, just a thing. So, one way to do coming first in the class is to study hard, work hard, and come first. And the other way might be the wrong way. Probably I will threaten the teacher, bring in a pistol, and probably garner more marks, ask somebody else to impersonate me, give exams on my behalf. So again, I will come first in the class. But the second option, people might not be very comfortable. So this is what ethics in decision making is all about it. So common rationalizations is not really illegal or immoral. It is in my organizational best interest that we goes across it. Remember, no one will find out. These are rationalizations that we comes when we are doing unethical organization decisions. So since it benefits the organization, it will be protected as long as it is not harming the organizational interest. Should you go and take unethical decisions? Probably not. But everybody does it. Why not me? As common rationalization comes around in ethics. And I've given you an example of coming first in the class. I can give you a real life business example, but for that, probably real sessions would be required. So different views of ethics are utilitarian views, decision that is solely made on the basis of their outcomes. The greatest goods for the greatest numbers. It's utilitarian. It benefits the maximum number of the stakeholders. The right view, decision emphasizing respecting and protecting the basic rights of individual. Absolutely the factual methods that needs to be taking around it. Come what may, it might put some of the people, some of the stakeholders in peril, but then going by the right view is always going around it. And then we come across the justice view, a view that requires the individual to impose and enforce rules fairly and impartially so that equitable distributions of benefits and cost goes around it. So what is the right way? What is the justice way? Justice way is absolutely might not be the right way also, but it might be the factual ways of being equitable, fair altogether. So we go across and does it. This is the justice way, absolutely by the legal standard that comes around it. Group decision making. Now we'll come into the decision making of the group altogether. Remember, group decision making is contagious. Group decision making has its pitfalls. Let us understand the disadvantages in the first thing. Probably once you are doing a group decision making, you get a holistic viewpoint, a more complete information. It generates n numbers of alternatives since people are giving different feedback, different point of view perspective, and so on and so forth. So there is bound to be an enhancement in the numbers of alternatives. Increased acceptance of a solution increases legitimacy is what we are looking forward to it. Nothing around but legitimacy is what we are looking forward. Now, did I say about the pitfalls of decision making? Yes, let us understand that pitfall. It is time consuming. When you are making decisions on your own, it might not excuse me, it might not be absolutely time consuming. It can be very much instantaneous. Minority domination, people who are not having a voice out there, they should be having the minority. So pressures to confirm is group thing, ambiguous responsibilities that goes around it. So we have this disadvantage, the pitfall that I've been trying to tell it to you, be it in terms of time consuming, minority dominations, pressures to confirm, ambiguous responsibility, as the case might be. So let us understand what does it tends to be in a group discussion. One of the very absolutely requirements or tends to be, or should I say, positive amplification of group decision making is it is more accurate, more creative, more acceptable, and more time consuming. So yes, definitely yes, many people are putting in their point of view. It is time consuming, but believe me or not, once you come and arrive to a decision, group decision, it becomes implementation wise very easy. Why? Because everybody feeds stakeholders in a decision and they would not let their decisions go down the drain. So they would ensure that the implementation is done in 100% with 100% effort. So yes, it is more acceptable and more accurate, more creative. Why more accurate? Because different perspective comes in. More creative because again the same logic of people from different walks of life, people from different status of the society, organizations are bringing in the news. So that is Group decision making advantages, more accurate, more creative, more acceptable, and definitely more time consuming. So with this, we come to a last slide for this presentation that comes around it. The special techniques. Let us understand those special techniques of group decisions. Number one is the brainstorming sessions where we actually pull in all the people and probably have a fight it out situation and probably talk it out, justify what is the different perspective, what are the merits of different perspective that comes around it. NGT is nominal group techniques in which only the experts have been utilized, only the experts, and based upon their experts, based on their feedback, will be reverted back to different expert and why such kind of things can be done. It's the nominal group techniques, and definitely you look, we are having group decisions even now, right now with our sessions on a video. It's an electronic meetings. Most of the cases, people might be saying it's very difficult to put people under one roof, be it the NGT technique or brainstorming. So comes the next advantages is being an electronic meetings where nobody is necessary to be under the same roof as the case might be. So we can have a virtual meetings altogether. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.